going to be going over exercises to help with the air squat. So some common faults in the air squat that you're going to see are things such as tight ankles, decreased mobility in the hips, arching at the lumbar spine, and not being able to get below parallel, which could be from restrictions in mobility. So the first exercise I'm going to go over is coming from the Postural Restoration Institute that I went over in the last video. PRI is not only used for breathing techniques, but also in the name it's used for posture. So the first exercise is going to be the reverse squat. This really focuses so you're using just your hamstrings and your glutes, and you're not relying on your quads or your lower back to get you through the movement. You can really see this in things like the front squat. You can see somebody's inability to really sit back in their heels and see if they're quad dominant or not. So this exercise, first thing you're going to do, you're going to have full flexion at the knees, arms forward. You're going to have a rounded back, and your feet should be planted flat on the ground at all times. If they're not flat on the back, that doesn't mean that, like mine are not flat on the ground. If they're not flat on the ground at all times, that doesn't mean that you don't have a functional squat. It just may be a restriction in mobility, so maybe you start a little bit higher. So you start in full flexion at the knees, arms in front of you, rounded back. Push your butt towards the wall, and you're going to come up as slow as you can, still having that rounded back. Head comes up, arms in front, mid squat, and stand. The first position, moving it back, you should really be able to feel it in your hamstrings to the point where you're almost shaking. That's when you know that you're really engaging your hamstrings, you're engaging your glutes. You really shouldn't be feeling this in your quads at all, and it'll help, so you shouldn't feel any tension on your lower back. Rounding your back, it's not getting in a bad position, it's just making sure that we are in that nice hollow position and we're really focusing on engaging the posterior chain.